What's going on YouTube? In today's video, I'm going to be taking down College Board Digital SAT Math Module 1. I'm going to go through every single question. We're going to speed run this section of the test. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I'll make sure to answer them. And if you do like this content and you want to see more SAT answer explanations, make sure to hit that subscribe button. But let's get right into the video. So number one, a little bit of an easy question. Hopefully you got this one. What is 10% of 470? Gonna go with B. If anyone doesn't know that one, drop a comment below. I'll make sure to explain it to you. Number two, which equation has the same solution as the given equation? So here, let's see, I'm gonna subtract 6 and get 4x equals 12. So I'm gonna go with C there. All right, number three. The total cost in dollars to rent a surfboard consists of a $25 service fee and a $10 per hour rental fee. A person rents a surfboard for T hours and intends to spend a maximum of $75. So this should be something like 25 plus 10x is less than or equal to 75. So I'm going to go with choice D. You have the base value and then the hourly value. So I'm going to go with choice D there. Let's take a look at number 4. Which value of x is g of x 25 when we have this function? So now remember, g of x equals y, right? So if we wrote this as y equals, we're just going to plug 25 in on this side and then do a little algebra here. So I'll subtract 9. So 16 equals x squared. Square root both sides, x equals 4. All right, let's see. Each face of a fair 14-sided die is labeled with a number 1 through 14. What do you use a 14-sided die for? Is that like Dungeons and Dragons or something? Comment down below. Let me know what you use a 14-sided die for. But if the die is rolled one time, what's the probability of rolling a 2? It's going to be a 1 out of 14 chance there, so I'm going to go with A. This first few are supposed to be pretty easy. All right, let's do number 6. Printer produces posters at a constant rate of 42 posters per minute. At what rate in posters per hour does the printer produce these posters? So let's move over to my Desmos here. So I'm going to do 42 times 60, and I'm going to get 2520. Very good. So 2520 is my answer. All right, let's get into number 7. So we have the function f, which is 7x plus 2. What is the value of f of x when x is 4? So 7 times 4 plus 2, which would be 30. Okay, that was easy. All right, number 8. Teacher's creating an assignment worth 70 points. The assignment consists of questions worth 1 point and 3 points. Which equation represents the situation where x represents the number of 1-point questions and y represents the number of 3-point questions? So it's going to be 3y. Equations worth 3 points. That's a total of 70 points. So I'm going to be looking for something like that, which is choice D. Right triangles L, M, N, and PQ are similar where L and M correspond to P and Q respectively. Angle M has a measure of 35. L and M correspond to P and Q. Well, L is equal to P and M is equal to Q. Angle M is 53, so Q should also therefore be 53, so I'm going to go with choice B there. Let's get into number 10. We want the value of x. So they give us y, so we can plug that in here, right? So 4x minus 3x equals 15, so you get x equals 15, so I'm going to go with choice C. Let's take a look at number 11. We want an equation for this line. So this line is going down this way, if I can trace it well. It has an y-intercept, of positive 10. So I'm going to get rid of A because this is an intercept of negative 10. I'm also going to get rid of C, and then the slope is negative, so I'm going to go with choice B there. Let's take a look at number 12. Looks like we have an equation here, the third power. How many values does f of x equal 0? So once again, they're asking when does y equal 0? So that's going to be here, here, and here. So we're looking at 3 places, so I'm going to go with choice C. 13. Vivian bought party hats and cupcakes for $71. Each package of party hats cost $3, so 3H plus C, number of cupcakes. So she bought 10 packages of party hats, so it'll be 3 times 10 plus C equals 71. So 30 plus C equals 71. C equals 41. So I'm going to go with 41 there. These are quite easy, right? We want to make sure we get these right. This is module 1. If any of you have any questions, make sure to put a comment down below, and I'm happy to answer, and we will be answering people as they have their questions. So please do that. So here they just want us to factor. Question number 14, right? We have to factor here. So we have Z and Z, and we want something that adds to positive 10 and multiplies to negative 24. Negative 24 We're looking at 12 and 2 is probably going to work. We also could go 8 and 3, but that's not going to work, right? So we're going to go plus 12 minus 2. So we're going to get z equals negative 12 or z equals 2. Both of those would be accepted answers. Bacteria are growing liquid growth medium. There are 300,000 cells per milliliter during initial observation. So at time 0, there's 300K. The number of cells per milliliter doubles every 3 hours. So at 3 hours, it's going to be 600K. We want to know at 15 hours. So at 6 hours would be 1.2 million. At 9 hours would be 2.4 million. At 12 hours would be 4.8 million. And then at 15 hours would be 9.6 million. So we're going to go with choice D. Which expression is equivalent to this? So this is a tricky one, right? I don't think that we can really combine like terms here, right? We're just looking for one of these that equals it. So we're going to have to get these two separate pieces. So let's look at this. 6x squared y squared. This would be 12x to the 8th y squared. I don't think that's correct. This would be 6x. This is not going to be correct either because that's just going to be x to the 8th. We're missing the 12. Now we're looking for something more like this, right? Because we have this plus here, so these are both wrong. This is going to be much closer to being correct. So let's see what we have here. The first thing, we're going to FOIL this, right? So we're going to have 6x to the 8th y squared, which is good, plus 12x squared y squared. That is going to be correct. Number 17. Neighborhood consists of a 2-hectare park and a 35-hectare residential area. Number of trees is 3,934. The equation 2x plus 35y represents this situation. Which of the following is best interpretation of x? So there's a 2-hectare park and a 35-hectare residential area. So there's the 2 and the 35. So x would be like the number of trees in the park per hectare, and y would be the number of trees in the residential area. So the average number of trees per hectare in the park. That would be correct. All right, 18. The graph shows the relationship between number of shares stock company A, X, and the number of shares stock company B, Y that Simone can purchase. Which could represent this relationship? So in these kind of questions, strategy-wise, you want to just look at the intercept, right? So when x equals 0, y should be 40, right? So we put in 0 here, y is 12. Put in 0 here for x. This could work, right? So let me take a look at this. All right, I have my calculator up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 480 divided by 12. And I got 40. 40 was what I was looking for here. So that's probably going to be the correct answer. Let's check the other ones. If we put a 0 here, it's going to be 8, and then a 0 here. That is not going to be correct. Yeah, no. So I'm going to go with choice B. Number 19. Circle A is a radius of 3n, and circle B is a radius of 129n. The area of circle B is how many times the area of circle A? So the radius is, one of them is 3 times n, and the other is 129 times n. So let's see that relationship, right? Let's do 129 divided by 3, right? So the bigger one is 43 times bigger than the smaller one. Now remember, in area, right, we're looking at area here. The formula for area is pi r squared. So if we have pi r squared and pi 43 r squared, and then this is in parentheses, right, because the radius is 43 times bigger, we can see the relationship between these two equations, right? So let's go back to the calculator and do 43, 1849 is what I'm looking for, 1849. So that D is going to be the correct answer. All right, let's take a look at number 20. Frequency table summarizes 57 data values data set. What is the maximum data value? So the maximum value is 14. Sometimes I don't know what they're thinking with these questions, but that is the correct answer. All right, number 21. The circle XY plane is diameter with endpoints 2, 4, and 214. The equation of this circle is this, where R is positive constant. What is the value of R? Well, we fill in x and y, we should be able to get r. So let's use 2 and 4. Let's use this point to plug in, right? Plugging in, hugely important strategy on the digital SAT. You want to plug in whenever possible. So we're going to go 2 minus 2 squared plus 4 minus 9 squared equals r squared. So this is going to be 0 plus negative 5 squared equals r squared. So 25 equals r squared. So R is 5. Now I know someone's going to say, oh, well, couldn't you put this into Desmos and answer it that way or something like that? Yeah, I could do that, but this was very easy, so I did this way. If I wasn't able to do it this way, then I'd highly recommend that you just jam this in Desmos and keep it moving. Let's take a look at number 22. The measure angle R is 2 pi over 3 radians. the measure of angle t is 5 pi over 12 radians greater than the measure of angle r. So let's put angle r into 12ths. So we're going to be 2 pi over 3. I'm going to multiply by 4 over 4. Right, so I'm going to get 8 pi over 12. And then they're saying t is 5 pi over 12 greater. So 8 pi over 12 plus 5 pi over 12 is 13 pi over 12. Now remember, pi is 180 degrees. They want this in degrees, right? So we just have to do 13 over 12 times 180. So let's go over to Desmos here. 13 divided by 12 times 180. So 195 is going to be the correct answer. So we're going to go with choice C, 195. Certain town is an area of 4.36 square miles. Where's the area in square yards? Right. So say, I mean, I know they're not saying it's a square, but just say we're looking at a 2-dimension, right? It's square miles, right? So say, I'm going to make up an easier example for you guys. Say the area of my town is 9 miles, right? So 9 square miles, right? It's 3 wide and 3 long. I have to convert both dimensions into yards. So I'd have to do both of these times 1760 to get the answer, right? Both dimensions are multiplied by 1760. So what we have to do is take 4.36 and multiply by 1760 twice to convert both dimensions into yards, right? So we're going to go over to Desmos and do this. So 4.36 times 1760 times 1760 is 13 million something. So we're going to go back here and select 13 million. Both dimensions must be converted. All right, 24. For line H, table shows 3 values of x and their corresponding values of y. Line K is relative to translating line H down 5 units. What is the x-intercept of line K? So there's a lot to do here. This is definitely going to be a harder problem, but let's get the slope first, right? We want to create, remember the equation of a line, y equals mx plus b. We want to create this line, right, whatever this line is, translate it down 5 units, and then find the x-intercept, right? So let's find this line first. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I just use these first 2 points here. So I got 30 over 5, so the slope is 6. So we have y equals 6x plus b. Now we have to find the y-intercept, so I'm going to use the first point, 130 equals 6 times 18 plus b. Go over to Desmos real quick so I don't make a mistake. 6 times 18. I always like to check, just make sure. 108 plus b, so b is 22. So we have y equals 6x plus 22. We need to translate it down h units. So translating it down would be subtracting 5. We want to translate down 5 units, right? So we got y equals 6x plus 17, right? And now I want the x-intercept. The x-intercept is where y is 0, right? If this is an axis, and this is the equation, the x-intercept is where y is 0 here. So we have 0 equals 6x plus 17 minus 17. So negative 17 equals 6x divided by 6. So negative 17 over 6 should be x, so the answer is D. That was quite a long one, but we still got it, right? We know the SAT, we know they ask these linear things. You have to study this linear stuff. This is so important. You must understand how to create a line from 2 points, calculate the slope, use the intercept. These are essential skills for the SAT. All right, so take a look at number 25. XY plane, the graph of the equation y equals negative x squared plus 9x plus 100 intersects the line y equals c exactly 1 point. So this is totally a Desmos question, right? They want one intersecting point is of y equals c. Y equals c is going to be a horizontal line like that. So it's going to have to be the vertex, right? So we want to go in here to Desmos. Negative x squared plus 9x minus 100. And then we're going to zoom in here, right? And we're going to look at this point, which is almost negative 80, a little less than negative 80. Then we're going to go back to our test here, and we're going to see which one equals negative 80. This would be negative 120 something, negative 100. That's almost negative 80. And then this is wrong, right? So we're going to go with C there. Desmos, so helpful on this problem. You've got to use it. All right, number 26. We have 2 equations here. For each real number r, the following point lies in the graph of each equation for the given system. So let's look at these 2 equations. If you multiply this by 5, you'd get 10x plus 15y equals 35. So these are the same equation, right? So I think what we need to do here is we need to unfortunately like plug in the answer choices to the equation to see if they're an actual point on the line, because if they're a point on one of these lines, then they're a point on the other line. So this is going to be a little bit annoying. Luckily, I have a lot of room here, right? So I'm going to do A first. This should reveal itself quickly, like whether it's right or wrong. R over 5 plus 7 plus 3 times negative R over 5 plus 35 equals 7. Not thinking this works out because we got 2R over 5 plus 14 plus negative 3R over 5 plus 105 equals 7. Doing a little quick math here, I don't think that's going to work. So I'm going to preliminarily put an X on that one. If I was doing the real test, I would check more closely, but I want to kind of move through this, right? Let's try the next one. Could be a little bit more promising, right? So 2 times negative 3R over 2 plus 7 over 2. 3R equals 7. So negative 6R over 2 plus 14 over 2 plus 3R equals 7. Oh, this does look promising, right? Because negative 6R over 2 is negative 3R, right? 2 goes into 6 3 times. Plus 7 plus 3R equals 7. So these cancel out and we get 7 equals 7, which is what we're looking for. So I'm going to go with that as the correct answer. If I was doing the real test and I had a ton of time, what I would do is go through the other ones, but we're doing this for practice, so I'm not going to do that. But on a real test, you definitely want to be careful. Unless, of course, you're running out of time, then you got to just keep moving. All right, let's go into number 27. Perimeter of an equilateral triangle is 624 centimeters, right? So here's my equilateral triangle. 624 is the perimeter. The height is K rad 3. So anyone that knows the SAT knows that what we're looking at here is a 30, 60, 90 kind of triangle problem. If you draw a straight line down the middle of an equilateral triangle, you get a 30, 60, 90 right triangle. If we divide this by 3, we get 208, right? So each side of this equilateral is 208. So that this, if we split this in half, right, for our 30, 60, 90 triangle, this, remember the ratio of a 30, 60, 90 triangle is the ratio of x rad 3, 2x, right? So we got to split this in half, 104 and 104. This is 208, and this will be 104 rad 3, so K equals 104. All right, guys, that's it. I just totally dominated this section of the SAT. It frankly was very easy, but if you did struggle with it, I hope you learned something. Hopefully you guys can do well enough on Module 1 to move on to the more difficult Module 2. Check out my next video because I will be going over Module 2 of this digital practice SAT. And if you do like this content, it helps me out so much. If you can, please hit that subscribe button. If you feel I'm worth it, go for it. If not, no worries. I hope you gained something from this video. Thanks a lot, guys. See you.